happening, gang? It's your boy Retro back again with another reaction video. Yeah. Today we got another huge update. Now, you guys can probably already tell that it is going down just by that title alone. You guys are definitely gonna want to check this one out. So we're witnessing yet another explosion on set. ABC's The View. We got that View host Sunny Hostin taking things a bit too far, actually unable to contain herself when it comes to hating on Trump and his newest policies. Guys, I'm excited to get to this one, so we're not straight into it. All I ask that you guys please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, and without further ado, let's hop straight into it, folks. Check this one out.
Tariffs that continue to cause global economic chaos. But you know who was still talking up his trade war when he spoke to reporters on his plane coming back from a golf trip? Take a look.
I spoke to a lot of leaders, European, Asian, from all over the world. They're dying to make a deal. But I said, we're not going to have deficits with your country. Now, what's going to happen with the market, I can't tell you, but I can tell you our country has gotten a lot stronger. And eventually, it'll be a country like no other. It'll be the most dominant country economically in the world.
Is there pain in the market? At some point, you're unwilling to tolerate this idea of a Trump put. Is there a threshold?
I think your question is so stupid. I mean, I think it's I don't want anything to go down. But sometimes you have to take medicine to fix something.
Here we go, y'all. Buckle up.
It will cost an additional $714 billion to bring shoes, TVs, and all other imports into the United States. And according to experts, low-income households are estimated to lose about $980 annually. Clothing prices predicted to rise 17%. Cost of building a new home will increase. And he keeps talking about how we're going to, build all these factories. How can you build the factories when you put tariffs on all the building products people need to build? People can't build these products like this. What are you thinking?
We don't have the labor force.
No, we don't have the labor force, and I still don't. I've stopped trying to figure out what this.
So my theory on this, Trump believes that the U.S. would thrive from having most of our goods manufactured here in the United States. Personally, I think that's a reasonable take. However, not everything that we use day to day could feasibly be produced here. It's not even kind of true. Maybe if we were the 13 original colonies, this would be sound trade policies. We are not.
And I'm going to just stop right there, guys, because Trump's already made it very clear that there are specific markets that he's working on bringing back to America, like the auto manufacturing market. He's not talking about creating sweatshops for people to start making t-shirts, sewing and knitting t-shirts or doing shoes. That's not what this is about. This is about bringing big manufacturing back to the United States. These ladies get up there and try to fearmonger and make it seem like Donald Trump is doing something that's so far unbelievable. But when you break it down, it's really simple. They don't want it. They don't want you to know the truth.
If true, maybe if we were the 13 original colonies, this would be sound trade policies. We are not. Forbes, for example, used the example to produce an iPhone purely in the United States, an iPhone would cost about $30,000. There is a reason we are a global interconnected economy, and what we do affects the whole world. And I want to talk about one person who's having an outsized influence on this trade war that has tanked the markets, cost people a lot of money in their retirement accounts already. And it's an individual named Peter Navarro, who's a trade advisor.
That's right.
No relationship. Who's a trade advisor to Donald Trump. I knew him in the first Trump term. Candidly, the smart economic advisors around Donald Trump in the first term would try to keep Peter Navarro out of meetings with Donald Trump because he so often lacked information, preparation, statistics.
So
he would put wrong
changed,
information in front of him. Yes, but the first time there were people like Steve Mnuchin and Mike Pence who could stop him. This time he went in and rocked global markets and is plummeting the wealth of this country. And I just want to underscore again, and of the world, this is not a rich person's problem. This is not just people with a lot of money in the stock market. This will hurt working class Americans harder than anyone. The price of everything is about to
fear-mongering.
I landed in Miami on Thursday night after the show, and there is Air Force One right next to me at the airport. Because he was in Miami, yes, that's a picture I took. He was in Miami this weekend at his golf resort in Doral, palling around with the Saudis who were holding their live golf tournament at his golf course and then playing golf and announcing that he was winning. So this is like Nero playing the fiddle as Rome burns. This is Marie Antoinette with a lot less hair and a lot more makeup saying, let them eat cake, right? So the callousness and just, if you voted for him and you think he cares about you, he doesn't. And you know, I was thinking about, okay, why does this surprise us? America, you voted, not me, you voted for a failed businessman. He's, you know, he built up his narrative that he's such a great businessman. He had 6 corporate bankruptcies. He had failed businesses. Trump University,
2 casinos,
Trump Airlines, Trump Vodka, Trump casinos, Trump steaks, Trump Steakhouse in Vegas,
What about
Trump
the water?
Magazine.
The
I mean,
water?
I literally it's only a 1-hour show. I can't continue.
Okay. Well, we want to name all of that. Trump has not succeeded. Let's name what he has succeeded in. You know, he's got elected in two times successfully being your candidate. You're just a sore loser. What have you tried? What have you succeeded at in life? Except for being on this very mean-spirited and hateful show. Doesn't make sense to me. If Trump didn't care about the American people, didn't care about his voters, he wouldn't be doing any of what he's doing right now as far as trying to renegotiate and get actual fair trade for the United States. We've been getting screwed over for how long? How much longer will we let this go on? You know what I mean? We had to have someone step in, a true leader. Speak up for his people. Say, we're drawing the line right here. You're not going to continue to get over on the backs of the American people. This had to be done. But listen to these ladies. They'd have made you thought you should be upset with Donald Trump for making things even for Americans. Oh my, it's sickening.
But you know who told us over and over again and warned over and over again?
Hillary Clinton.
Can we play the clip?
Oh my,
16 Nobel laureates have described his economic plan as something that would increase inflation and by the middle of next year would invite a recession.
I thought we were done with
They fell
that.
short. It wasn't the middle of next year. We're in April.
Yes, right now.
It's already
Where's the recession? Where is this recession at, first of all? And second of all, where was this sense of urgency or concern when it was Joe Biden just tearing our economy? Inflation was through the roof, apart. I mean, let's be real with ourselves. This is a fake outrage narrative meant to spark more of that, people protesting around the nation, but no one's getting on board. That's why you guys got a 20% approval rating amongst your party. No one's believing this.
I mean, I don't have much to add on it. You know, I keep on thinking to myself, why tariffs? Why tariffs? And then I did some research, and Peter Navarro, who was one of the authors of Project 2025, he authored the trade section. It's called The Case for Fair Trade. And he makes it clear that the U.S. has to strengthen manufacturing and defense industrial bases here while improving the reliability of its global supply chains, which requires onshoring production. But as we all know, there's no labor force for onshore production. There's no infrastructure for onshore production. And most manufacturing jobs are being taken over by AI. And
that was a lie. No workforce, no manufacturing. We don't have any means, any places. There's a bunch of empty warehouses across our nation that could easily be manufacturing plants. Why is she lying? And now she's saying the computer, the evil robot's taking over all the jobs, so we don't need them here in America. Give me a break, Sonny. You didn't have anything to say. You should have just kept your mouth shut. Let's speak about her husband. We haven't heard about that in a while. Where is that investigation going, or is that getting shoveled to the side because he's on the left side of politics? I want to know.
Labor force for onshore production. There's no infrastructure for onshore production. And most manufacturing jobs are being taken over by AI and by tech. So this whole thing is, Peter Navarro is behind it, and he's behind the why, and Donald Trump doesn't really care
Sonny, Donald Trump has been talking about tariffs for decades.
Well,
this is something he vehemently believes in.
He thinks it's going to be the Gilded Age, but what people that really know history know that these types of high tariffs have never worked in the history of our country, and it hasn't worked in other countries as well.
Like Latino voters who voted for Trump may be regretting as they see the way these deportations are playing out. And I feel like the other issue he won on with the economy is now seeing a lot of big money people come out and say, whoa, this isn't what we voted for. Like billionaire Trump supporter Bill Ackman said, what CEO and what board of directors will be comfortable making large long-term economic commitments?
Some of this is not just what's going to happen in the near term. Nobody's going to want to come in and establish businesses here because of the chaotic nature.
But because he does, you know, you as you said, it would be nice.
Yo, there we have it, guys. These crazy ladies on the set of ABC's debut once again showing us how far disconnected from the real world and reality they truly are. We got Sarah Haynes saying that this does not incentivize companies, manufacturers to come and start manufacturing in the United States, but it does, because if you can't export from your country into the United States without high tariffs, of course you're going to want to come settle down inside the United States. This is definitely going to stop Chinese from manufacturing right outside of the United States borders down there in Mexico and trying to ship all those cars in the United States without the American workers getting any piece of the pie. This is going to benefit folks all across the nation. All these jobs that were lost underneath the Biden administration, these ladies are so far gone. I mean, Trump has been pretty clear from the jump, transparent about his mission is aimed trying to rebuild America back stronger, better than ever. And how do we do that? We have to start manufacturing, producing things here in our country, you know, bringing back so many jobs for the American workers. I'm not sure how these ladies are missing that mark every single time. I think they just don't want to hear, they don't want their viewership to know the truth of what's going on in America, because what Donald Trump is doing is what leaders should do. He's standing up for those who are defenseless, which is our entire country. Apparently, we've been getting ripped off, screwed over for how long? That's not really fair. Equal trade, that what we've been seeing, there's been tariffs on top of tariffs on top of tariffs. Only right that Donald Trump hiked that price up for these other countries so they could come back to the table. We've already had, what, 50 countries reaching out to Donald Trump saying, hey, we should renegotiate this thing. We think we could come to a happy median. We can meet in the middle on this thing. But these ladies want to paint a whole different picture. Guys, definitely hop in the comment section though. Let me know your thoughts. Comments are open and I'm excited to hear what you guys are thinking about this. Also, make sure you guys please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you enjoy more content like this, I'll catch you guys on the next week.